to make things more realistic, because this is a film still, and you can see this grain over here, this noise, film grain, you can see it on his skin. You have to take things like that into consideration. So I took this picture of Brian with a DSLR, and you don't have any of that going on in there. I mean, and of course he's running, so there is a little bit of motion blur. Let's see what happens there. So I mean, you get a little bit of motion. Don't want to overdo it. Seven, maybe around 5. You get a little bit more noise going on. What I would do, I would take and click on the airplane layer. I would select a piece of the sky, Command C or copy, make a new layer, this little button here. I'm going to bring it above Brian, and then Command V is paste. So you have it over here. You can use things like this to get that kind of texture, and by using blend modes, and you just have to find which one works best. So that gives, now it makes them blue. You have to correct the blue in this because you don't want the blue, but it gives, starting to give a little bit of noise, the grain. You can see that on his face now. So now, ignoring the color problem, that's starting to match some of this. For treating some of these as paintings, digital paintings, you have to really think about moving the color around, being in control of the shadows, and instead of treating it like a photograph, treat it like something that you're actually, working with. So now I'm going to start talking about some of the tools. Over here you have blur, sharpen, smudge. Those can come in handy for other things. Right now I'm going to worry about dodge and burn. Dodge lightens, burn darkens. So we have this strong shadow side over here, not going off of Brian. This is really tricky because you have to be really careful. You can easily go overboard with this. Because exposure is already up to 50, man, bring that bad boy down to like 11 or something, and then just, it's not going to do much at first, but then you just have to keep working with it. You see, it's starting a little bit dark in there. It's controlling midtones right now. And then control shadows. You can make shadows darker. See, it's already, even at 11%, it's starting to mess up the colors. So obviously that's not going to work that well. You can use brush tool, maybe, well, eyedrop, Cary Grant's face, like that color, and go back to brush, and then take opacity down a lot. You make, and hardness down, and you can start making it darker on your own. You get the idea of having to add shadows and making it work for you. Also, I'm not sure where I would use it on this project, but say you really loved Cary Grant's skin and you wanted it over here. You can use clone stamp. Clone stamp takes a portion of an image, whatever you select, and then treats that as like a brush. So then you're painting with whatever the area is that you selected. So you do that by holding Option, brings this up. I'm clicking on his skin. So I'll bring over here, and I'm painting with Cary Grant's face. That cross over there, that's where it's taking it from. That's why this area right here where it's lighter is because I moved over too far and I started painting with the sky. You know, Brian's got some Cary Grant skin. Check that out. That is extremely helpful for getting textures that you can't just paint with, you know, normally with a paintbrush. Also, so now I have this line going on because I didn't want it to go up to his nose. You can come over here to the spot healing brush or the healing brush. Let's try the spot healing brush first. I've selected that area, let it do its thing, and it kind of merges it a little bit. Kind of blends them together. So getting rid of some of that line. Oh, see, I got his glass in there. So it's just, you know, an algorithm that when it reads some of those pixels, it's going to try to blend that. And Command Z, by the way, is undo. That's big. Learn it. So now it's trying to blend in some of that sky, which is why that's not working. Because we don't want sky on your beautiful Cary Grant face. Also, the healing brush tool is kind of like a cross between spot healing brush and the clone stamp. So you use Option again, and you select something, and that takes that sampled area and uses that as the blending part. So if I want to sample there, and so that kind of blended a little bit better there. And then you would have to get in real close to get around the glasses. Also, that's pretty much the tools I was going to talk about. And then just keep in mind all these adjustments. Vibrance changes what's called vibrance and saturation. Color balance, we saw some of that. Hue saturation, saw some of that. Photo filter adds like a color filter over it. I'll show you. So right now it's a warming filter. See, you can make it like sepia if you have warming, but then there's all kinds of presets.